Hello, welcome to another English still wine with Tweedy video, taking this channel, English Sparkling with Tweedy, increasingly off-brand. Sorry it's so dark, I really ought to have probably brought some artificial lighting with me, but it's not even particularly late. It's 6, I think, an hour before sunset, but it's just a very grey, gloomy sort of a day. This is the next of the 3 wines that I bought from Davenport recently, the still red English Pinot Noirs from Sussex, from Davenport. It may look in this lineup as though I bought 6 bottles, but it's a pair each of 3 different wines. This is the same vintage as the previous one. It is again a 2022 vintage, but a different vineyard and possibly also a subtly different grape variety. That other one was labelled as Pinot Noir early, which I interpreted to be Pinot Noir precoce. It's very similar really to Pinot Noir, it's just a sort of variant really, whereas this is just regular Pinot Noir. And the vineyard name, Redmoors this time rather than Diamond Fields. As I may have mentioned before, I've been drinking Diamond Fields from Davenport for some time, that vineyard, and I don't think I've tried this before, this other vineyard of his. I think this is also in Sussex or thereabouts. His winery is near, Will Davenport's winery is near the Kent border, so it's possible this could be over the border into Kent, but I think it's Sussex. And I have learnt from my previous difficulties, and this time I have brought along an actual corkscrew. Can you see anything? On screen at the moment, this all looks incredibly dark, dingy. I hope some of this is actually coming out. Given the failing light, let's not mess about. Just get on with this. I'm also hoping to do a bit of cooking while I'm out. My family are otherwise indisposed for the early evening, at least, for dinner. So I thought, rather than sitting at home and cooking, why don't I have an al fresco meal? As noted, I believe corkscrews just make this opening of these bottles, because the corks are a bit tight, the glass is a bit fragile. All glass is fragile, you know what I mean. A bit easier with a corkscrew. I cut a lot of it out last time, so you perhaps didn't see the full extent of how much I was struggling to use the wine prongs, but I think for these Davenport wines, just use a corkscrew. You'd probably do that anyway. It's only really me that has this weird habit of trying to open everything with wine prongs. The lighting is going to make it even more challenging than the last time to comment on the colour, but it's similar to the last one. I think it's got a darkish sort of tinge, which is impressive for England. I always imagine English red Pinot Noir would come out, English still red Pinot Noir would come out quite pale. But that's a nice deep red colour, and it's got a sort of glossiness and a sheen to it, which I really like. That's quite an appealing appearance. First nose there. Unlike the other one, I think I am getting the tiniest hint of that sort of mentholy kind of aroma that I often find in English Pinot Noir and or young Pinot Noir. It's pretty subtle though, it's not strong at all. And beyond that there is berry fruit. I think this is, again, leaning towards black currant. And I think I get black currant before I get any other fruit there, actually. So I don't even know if black currant counts as a berry fruit. Does it precisely? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, quite a nice blackcurranty sort of aroma. There might also be a bit of blackberry, which would be a fittingly English sort of an aroma. Yeah, I think blackcurrant, blackberry is what I'm getting on the nose. Let's give it a bit of a swirl, see what difference that makes. More of the same, nice and pure, fruity, blackcurrant, blackberry. Probably a bit more blackcurrant than blackberry, but a little bit of both. Okay. Stylistically similar to the Diamond Fields of the same vintage, same producer last time. Nice kind of purity of the fruit here. Juicy, it is kind of youthful, does have a sense of kind of, I don't mean in a bad way, but there is a sort of a nice pleasant sense of ribena about it almost. And fruity, juicy, pure. I think those were the key takeaways from the previous wine, and I would apply that here. Would just say that the fruit character is a bit different. I'm definitely getting more blackcurrant, blackberry. It's darker berry fruit, if you can call blackcurrant a berry fruit. Is it? Sort of berries. And it's very smooth. I would say borderline silky, but the sort of juice sensation, the sensation of fruit juice, slightly overtakes that in terms of the mouthfeel. A little bit of a tannic tingle on the end. I think a lot of these wines, I know that the Diamond Fields is definitely Has some oak contact. What does this say here? Whole berry fermented, natural yeasts, matured in oak barrels for 18 months. All right, so that's had quite a lot of time. Oak contact. There is a little bit of, I suppose the tannin is partly representing that. It's also the whole berry fermentation, but I'm getting a little bit of a tingle, slight woody sense, but it's really not overwhelming considering the extent of that oak contact. I don't really like over-oaked Pinot Noir. I think it's actually managed to keep really subtle here. And the thing that I noticed more than anything with this wine is the fruit expression, that lovely blackberry, blackcurrant sort of fruit. But again, it is relatively tart. It's got a decent amount of acidity. You'd expect that considering the climate, the age and all that. I don't mind that. It's refreshing, very easy to drink, really quite pleasant. I think that's another hit. I like that, just like I liked the Diamond Fields the other day. If anything, this one feels a little bit more English, perhaps because of those blackberry hedgerow sort of notes. I won't labour that too much more. In a similar vein, slightly different fruit character to the other one, the Diamond Fields 2022. And it's good. I like it. Similarly like it. Just slightly different fruit character. I think I'll shut up now. Try and keep that relatively brief. My camera tells me I've already recorded 10 minutes of babble here. Oh dear. And I'm possibly going to do a little bit of cooking now. I'm going to have a burger. But in terms of the wine chat, cheers.